coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus has reached Australia.
This is a rapidly emerging situation.
The first US case has been detected.
China is urging its citizens not to travel abroad as it struggles to contain the virus.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
Good evening. I am your host Arvish and I am accompanied by my associate Amir.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Amir, and today we will walk you through the psychological effects that COVID-19 has had on the people.
The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic has reshaped our world in many ways, some for the better, some for the worse. I remember when the news first came out about this virus, it seemed almost surreal, didn't it?
It was wild actually. It had everybody unhinged for months on end.
For real. Which is why it's really important that we reflect on the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. A global crisis, perhaps.
Amen. The magnitude of the situation had people on chokehold. People's lives were forever changed in ways we never imagined.
So true. As we gather here today, it is vital that we delve into its origins and reflect on the effects it has had on individuals worldwide.
Well, as we all know by now, COVID-19 can be traced back to as early as December of 2019. Cases of the virus was first reported in the city of Wuhan, China. It was initially thought to be a localized outbreak, but that just wasn't the case.
It was crazy. The virus was spreading like wildfire, going from cities to cities, from countries to countries. By the end of March 2020, COVID-19 was declared a global pandemic.
The impact of COVID-19 on people's lives was huge. The effect of the pandemic was felt by all. Families were separated and businesses were shut. At that point, the world was just thrusted into a state of uncertainty and fear.
Also, the strict lockdowns took a toll on people's mental health as well as the isolation caused to have anxiety and depression.
Definitely. People were being confined behind four walls. Can you imagine the fear and sense of loss those people went through?
Absolutely. The effects of mental health on this crisis will be felt long after this pandemic.
I couldn't agree more. And now we will move on to our associate Lucas with the interview.
Hi, my name is Lucas, and I am here today to find out just how big the impact coronavirus has had on people's mental health. Today, I will be speaking with individuals to shed light on their mental well-being. From feelings of isolation to struggles with anxiety and depression, we will hear first-hand account of the toll this pandemic has taken on people's mental health. But there is more than what meets the eye. So let's get into it. Okay. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Indrodip Kashyapi.
My name's Hatim.
I'm Sehri.
My name is Rais.
Arnav.
And what course are you studying?
I'm studying in Bachelor of International Hospitality Management.
I'm studying Mass Comm in PR and Marketing.
I'm doing psychology.
I study A-levels.
Cambridge A-levels.
So how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your overall mental well-being?
Well, it was a bit hectic for me because that time I was in Bangladesh, so I was having my online classes, and it was very tough for me to make it in online.
Initially, I was fine and I was okay with it because I am a gamer, so I was like made to be indoors, so I was like, all right, I'm okay. But I think as time went on, I started feeling a bit more like walled in and closed in.
Honestly, I don't think it affected it that much. I was really comfortable in COVID.
I felt more at ease because I like to be online and classes were online and everything, so I felt better.
Have you experienced any changes in your mood or emotions since the start of the pandemic?
Yeah, the most thing I observed in my life was like I was very lazy because that time I was having online classes and all the assignment and sheet was in online.
Like I mentioned earlier, I was fine with it at first. And then later on, of course, it got bad.
It was different. Like we were, personally, I was really free before.
Well, actually, that's a good one. Okay, so during the pandemic, honestly, I was a lot more calm. But ever since the pandemic kind of ended, I started feeling a bit more anxious, I would say.
Not really, no.
So what specific mental challenges you have faced in coping with the uncertainty and disruption caused by COVID-19?
Actually, that time I was in home. I cannot go out. I cannot go chill with my friends. I can drive here and there. So it was kind of awkward for me every time I was staying at home, playing games. It was a bit hectic for me.
like the uncertainty of not knowing when you can like meet your friends and being able to go out and stuff like that. So I guess that would just be like boredom and also like loneliness.
So for me, it's like anxiety first, and second, it would be depression because like I feel different from how I was. It's a whole change.
Honestly, none. I don't feel nothing.
Then I was happy.
And have you noticed any changes in your sleeping patterns or energy levels during the pandemic?
Yeah, actually, before COVID-19, I used to gym. I was to go to playing football, cricket. But back in COVID time, I was in home. I couldn't play with my friends, and I observed that I was feeling so lazy. I couldn't go out that much. But after COVID, everything is now okay.
No, I don't think so. Or energy levels. I think energy levels being stuck indoors, definitely.
I try to like recover my normal sleeping pattern, but I always like either oversleep or like, even eating patterns, it's like totally different because it's either like I don't sleep at all or I sleep way too much.
No, actually, I slept really well during the pandemic.
Yeah, I would say I started sleeping later. Like, I used to sleep at around 12. Now I sleep at around 3 or 4.
Have you experienced any feelings of loneliness, of isolation during the pandemic?
Yeah, I have faced some isolations, and during the pandemic, it was like I couldn't go out with my dad and mom.
Since me and my friends, we always do hang out, like playing games online, or whether it's just communicating through each other online. So we were always still in contact with each other, but then of course there was like no physical meetups and stuff like that. So I think that would definitely make me feel isolated.
Definitely, like there was no communication with people other than internet, and like being actually there, like physically being present there, it's the whole thing now, it's like we actually valued the things we had before, and like it was a whole change of processes.
Honestly, no. I was really comfortable with myself, and I always had Discord friends, so I never really felt lonely.
I think during the COVID-19 pandemic, I was more united because me and my friends, instead of studying, we would just play games, and we were more connected actually.
Looking at this chart, we see the impact of the pandemic on depression rates in the USA in 2021. Over 1.3 million people took a depression screening, a significant jump from the previous years. Despite this increase, the proportion of people with moderate to severe symptoms remained at 85%. Month by month, the rates infected by stayed disturbingly high, showing the pandemic's unrelenting impact on mental health. This data is a call to action for ongoing support and a resource for those affected. The reporting done by our correspondent Lucas has shown that it is evident that the effect of the pandemic extends far beyond the realm of physical health. It has also taken a significant toll on people's mental health. The constant barrage of heartbreaking news and the overwhelming uncertainty surrounding the future have led many grappling with the heightened levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. The shift to remote learning, isolation from peers, and the uncertainty of the pandemic's progression have contributed to these mental health challenges as well. Suicidal ideation and attempts particularly have shown an alarming rise, with 30% of adolescents, females, considering suicide in 2021. This stark increase underscores the mental health crisis among students, highlighting the need for enhanced support and resources. Amidst the darkness, there is also light. While the pandemic has undeniably brought hardship and disruption to people's mental health, there are those who have found unexpected benefits in the minds of the pandemic. Some of the people Lucas interviewed said that the pandemic has provided a unique opportunity for self-reflection, growth, and focus. With the hustle and bustle of everyday life coming to a standstill, many have found themselves with newfound time and space to pursue their passion, delve into hobbies, and explore new avenues of creativity. As we look to the future, it is crucial that we recognize the importance of prioritizing mental health support and resources whenever it's through increased access to counseling services. Destigmatizing conversations around mental illness or simply checking in our loved ones, there is much we can do support our another as a journey towards healing, and recovery.
Thank you, Tim. Now, as we come to the end of our discussion, it is clear that the COVID-19 pandemic has left a deep scar on people's mental health.
True that. The stories that we've heard today was astonishing. The struggles some people went through was hell almost. But amidst the struggles, there are also stories of resilience and strength.
Yes, despite the hardships, many have found ways to cope and adapt during these uncertain times. It is inspiring to see the human spirit shine through adversity.
Indeed. And I think one of the key takeaways is the importance of prioritizing mental health. I mean, we've seen how isolation, fear, and uncertain things can take a toll on mental health and well-being. Right, Arvish?
Of course, sir. It is crucial that we support one another in times of need.
Absolutely. It is essential that we learn from these experiences and work towards creating a more supportive and resilient society. There's much we can do to promote mental health and well-being.
Couldn't agree more.
We are your hosts, Amir and Arvish.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to wear your mask.
Yeah, could do that.
I remember it's so fast.
Well, the pandemic has